Hi, this is aka Supergirl Mom. I finally reached 700 followers on her after just about a year. I'm getting close to a year marker. I thought I would do another video since my first video was primarily for my Ahura blog, so it had a lot of Trek, Star Wars questions. There wasn't really much dedicated to my first blog, my first love, which is Kara Zor-El. I'm going to first do a few shout outs. I just want to do them. I already did my ones for my people who've been following me forever, so this time I'm going to do them for my new Mainverse family. They all came around, they may have been around longer, but they all came around right after the movie. So I know that Christopher and Talia, they've been around quite a while because I've actually followed both of them since I first made my blog. And then there is my Superman, which is Gave the Man Ideal. That's also the Superman for my Lois, which are both involved in the same main verse. The Mun is amazing. You should definitely follow them if you haven't. I was really picky about my Superman, and to find one that I really liked was took quite a while, and a movie coming out, and then I got one. So if you don't follow them, you probably should. Let's see, my next would be my Connor. My Con, that is Con dash the L the clone. They are really great. They kind of bring a funny side, so I'm kind of really impressed with them, and who they role play with, and how they do short and long, and it all seems really great. And then of course we all have this night blogging that's ridiculously cute and funny, and if you haven't seen it, you should look at it. It's Con, me, a Bart Allen that is in his 20s, which is Kim Speedster, and then another Bart, Can't You Talk Faster, which I think is a little bit younger one, maybe not. I don't roleplay with them very often, but they're really nice too. And then whoever just kind of jumps in after that, and then Owen Mercer. But it's funny because it literally will start with one stupid comment, and then it's like ongoing over and over comments. So, there's just a lot of fun stuff going on there. And then there is Christopher Kent, which is going to be Son of Zod. They've been around probably longer than I have. I know I've been following them since the very beginning, of my blog. Then there's his Talia, which is only Talia. She, I only really follow two Talias. That's only Talia, and then another one I'm going to mention a little bit later. And I don't really care for the character unless it's one of those two people, and then I absolutely love Talia. So it takes a special person to make me like a character I don't, but she definitely does it. And then there's my Zod, which is the Kryptonian general, which is actually a really close friend of my best friend. So there's kind of, a connection there, but he's really great. He plays Zod a little different. I think probably truer to comic Zod than some of the new movie Zods. Not that they're not great, they're just different. But that would be most of my main verse. I guess that's my super family of my main verse. My Bruce is the Darkest Detective. My Nightwing is You're Not Too Big to Spank, which apparently is a quote from Nightwing from a comic. And then I guess my Bart would be Kim Speedster. My Owen Mercer, which is Owen Boomer Mercer, which I was really surprised I ever got him Owen, but it was really exciting when I finally did. I think that's pretty much it for my main verse, at least that my Diana, which is Champion of the Gods. So I have Bruce, Diana, Clark, Con, Bart, the second Flash, which is my Barry Allen Flash. I think that's it. Then I have a Marvel verse and all of that, but I'll probably go into them some other time. I decided just to do my shout outs for my main verse. My Tim and my Steph. My Tim is the Detective Wonder. I've been following, he's been following me, or I've been following him since the very beginning. He's great. He's had 3 URLs, so I'm pretty sure that's the newest one. And then my Stephanie is Gotham's Little Ray of Hope. And actually, my Tim and my Steph are together. My Cassie, which is with my Connor. which is Sassy Sandsmark. I think that's like everybody's Cassie, actually. but she's my main verse Cassie. So that's Cassie, Tim. Yeah, that's everybody. Yep, that's pretty, because I don't have a Jason Todd. I don't. Oh, my Hal is Hi. Oh man, he's gonna kill me. I think it's Flyball dash High. You know, on that one, just look on my contacts page. I love him, but I don't pay attention to his URL. I just like roleplay back and forth with him. He's a great Hal. He's got a very interesting face claim for Hal, but I actually kind of like it. I would have never thought of it until I saw it, and I really like it. And it's 5 in the morning. Well, it's 4:30, so I'm sure I've missed somebody, and if I missed you, I really love you, and I didn't mean to. Yeah, that's pretty much it for my main verse right now. I know I'm getting a hell blog. I'll be adding a few people here pretty soon to it. So just keep an eye out, because anybody that I've put in my main verse is by far worth not only following but role playing with, because they're all really nice people and love to role play with just about anybody. So that's going to be it for my shout outs this time. The next thing I'm going to do is I have some questions here pretty much from the same people that I've just mentioned. So this will be pretty quick. I didn't really want a super long video this time. Okay, my first question comes from the Detective Wonder, which is my Tim. And he asked, would you want Kara to be in the New 52 Teen Titans comic? Wow. I would love Kara to be in Teen Titans, but she's going to have some serious New 52. She'll have to have, well, she has to have some serious development, because she wouldn't be able to be with a group right now, because she's still having serious issues with the fact that she's just remembered Krypton and what happened on Krypton. And then after she does that, she basically almost kills the Justice League through hell, or Hellel, however you want to pronounce it, in that story arc. So she's kind of, I mean, the issue where she almost kills the Flash is, and she breaks the Diana's lasso. She's just got a lot of problems right now, because she's not human, and she doesn't feel human, and she doesn't have the feelings for humans that Kal-El does. And I think it's going to take her a while before she would ever be able to team up. That being said, as soon as she has enough of an arc to be able to team up with her people that she should be with, I absolutely do think she should be in Teen Titans. And if she doesn't, she needs to be skipped right along and just be in the Justice League, because if not, it doesn't really make sense, because she can't really go to the JSA, and I don't think they would put her in Justice League of America, although it would be smart of them to do, because she would be a better counterpart to Superman than the Martian Manhunter. But regardless, it's complicated, and yeah, I would like to see her in Teen Titans. My next question is, if you had to RP Kara or Clark for the rest of your life, which one would you pick, and why? And the reason why I probably asked that, if you don't know, I have a Clark blog, I have a Lois blog, and I have Supergirl. The only one I don't have is Superboy, just because I don't think I could do him justice. And my Clark blog is Krypton's Last Hope. I would pick Kara, because you can see I have my Clark blog. He's been there for like 6 months, 7 months, and I get a tiny bit of a muse for him, and then it's flighty. I mean, it's really flighty. So the only muse I constantly usually have is Kara. Lois is getting better. She's just better in general, because I have a verse to put her in, and she's not just hanging out there all by herself, because there's only like 3 Superman on all of Tumblr, and now there's a bunch, and I like it because you can get it's just a great variety of Clark, versus the 3 or 4 amazing blogs that there was, but they had so many threads because everybody wanted one. So it's nice to have enough to fill the space now. But yeah, I would pick Kara. Her muse is easy. I don't have to think about it. Any other muse I have to really, well, besides Lois, because my con will say that I am Lois. Obviously I'm not. You can see I don't look like Lois. But I guess when I write her, it's like pure Lois. It's probably because we're the same age. I don't know. I have a feeling that it has something to do with being the same age. But yeah, Kara just comes easy. It flows. I don't have to think about it. I just write and I write and I write and I write, and I can do my 30 threads a day, and it comes out great. I hope. At least it should. If it's not, somebody tell me, and not hatefully, just tell me. But I would pick Kara. I probably could role play Kara for the rest of my life, and as long as she keeps having arcs and keeps developing and keeps growing as a character, I absolutely would love to play her forever. So that's that question. His next question is my favorite Kara team up. Okay, so I had never read it, so this would not have been 2 weeks ago my favorite, but it's got to be the Steph and Kara go to the movies and the movie monsters come out and attack them, and it's the two of them fighting movie monsters. The reason why I love that so much has to be the scene where Kara rips her shirt off and she's like, Steph, are you going to put your uniform on? And she's like, where would it be? And she's like, isn't it under your deal? And Stephanie's like, what? Just my bra? And like, do you just want me my bra? And Kara's like, does it have a bat symbol on it? Yes. It's like perfect Steph, Kara being oblivious to the fact that normal heroes don't wear their costumes under their clothes like her and Clark and Connor. So I just think that Stephanie is a great balance. I didn't really like Stephanie till I got a couple really good Stephanies, and then I read some stories, and I'm like, wow, it's hilarious, the two of them. So definitely my bro TP for Kara. It would have to be, will always now be Stephanie. So yeah, that's my favorite team up. Okay, the next question is Marvel, DC, or Star Wars, and I assume you asked me that because I have a blog in each, or at least one blog in each of those. It's always going to be DC. As a matter of fact, I went out tonight and we sat at a table, and one person was Star Wars, one person was Marvel, and I was DC, and they're like, how can you like DC? Well, I have a passionate love for DC. I always have, always will. I feel like they are the archetype for so many other superheroes. I feel like DC gave this base level. Now, do they have flaws? Oh my god, yes. And the New 52 would be like, they have like 3 titles that are great, that are so much better than the original. Supergirl being one, Aquaman being the other. And then the rest of them, you have to love them for the being that they are, which is not what they originally were. Basically, you have to not love them because I buy them, I read them. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Most of them aren't very good, but I'm being loyal and hoping that they will pick up, because certain titles have. Batman's definitely gotten better. Superman, God, if they would just get one writer and stick with it, maybe it would be better. But yeah, I'm gonna stay loyal to DC at least for a little while longer, hopefully. And then 2 more questions for him. Cats or dogs? Dogs. I have one. Her name is Isis. She's in trouble, or I'm sure she would be running around in the background. She's a huge German Shepherd. So definitely dogs. Although I love cats. I used to have one. It's just I loved him so much that when he passed away, I didn't want to get another one. So I got a dog. And then the last question is ice cream or frozen yogurt. And actually, I don't eat either. I actually eat sherbet. So nope, neither one of those. Okay, and there's your questions. The next person is Gotham's Little Ray of Hope. That is my Stephanie Brown. And she asked, what made me choose to RP Kara, and how do you achieve her flawlessness? I don't know that I achieve her flawlessness. I know that I give her a voice. I give her depth. I give her a little more character than probably people who aren't reading the comics know that she has. I mean, if you're just catching her in a team up, or you're just catching her from a Superman comic and you're not actually reading her comic, you don't realize how conflicted, how depressed, and how absolutely sad she is 90% of the time. And she's still doing that, still tries to be this beacon like Kal-El is, and she tries to do whatever she can to make him proud. So I think that as long as I'm achieving all of those and people can see that in her, if you call that flawlessness, which I wouldn't because my spelling's horrendous and I don't know how, like, atrocious. Yeah, there, see you go, atrocious. And I don't know how to use a comma for the life of me, and I apologize for that. Like, I know how, but for some reason I get writing a sentence and I'm oblivious to like how many commas are actually supposed to go in my complicated sentences I'm writing, and I never put enough, as I've been told. And why did I pick her? All of the above reasons I just explained. She's complicated. She's got this side to her that longs to have this immediate family and this love and all of these things that she can't get on Earth, and that she's kind of denied, and especially New 52, because Clark and her are not as close as they were, and he looks at her like not even barely a sister where she used to. And the pre-52, he looked at her as a daughter, and she doesn't even have any of that. So I really feel like she's, and of course they never give her a canon love interest, because she's always 16. They never make her any older, and so they don't give her a love interest, and so therefore she kind of always gets this, she's always got that longing for love. And it could be familial or best friend or actual romantic love, and she never gets it. So I think that's why I picked her, because there's so many emotional sides that you can do to her, even though people think she's just this little blonde girl, and she's really not, because she's not human, and so her age is a little off. I feel that she's a little more advanced than the normal 16-year-old. Okay, my Superman gave the man idea. Wants to know how I started RPing and my favorite RP arcs that I've done. I assume that's what she meant by the question. Oh wow, I started RPing. Wow, this is really going to show my age. In 1997, on a website for Vampire the Masquerade. Wow, that was a long time ago. It might have been 98. I'm not quite sure on that. But that's when I started. Before that, I did a lot of like tabletop gaming and live action role play and cosplaying and all that stuff long before it was even kind of remotely popular. And then I started doing some forum role playing, but not really. It was all vampires and werewolves and that kind of stuff. Tumblr by far is my first of this style of role playing. And I've been doing it, well, in August will be a year. So it's kind of new for me. I like it. I like it a lot. I like the kind of freedom that you have with it that you don't get with forum role play, and you definitely don't get with like tabletop role playing or any of that stuff. No rules. I like not having rules, and being able to kind of do what I want, and the story basis part of it. So I don't like rolling dice. I never did. But yeah, I've been role playing since 97. So that's kind of, yeah, I'll just say 97. That works. My favorite arc that I've role played. Man, I haven't, my favorite probably would be, I had a really great one. I'll have two favorites. My first favorite is going to be on my Vicky Vale. Yeah, we had a group plot, that she was constantly getting kidnapped by the Joker. Now, my Vicky Vale was only 23, so she's a little younger, and she was constantly getting kidnapped by the Joker, and he was constantly doing terrible things to her to get Batman's attention, which is not too far off from the comics, except for that she's younger, and so Batman kind of looks at her as more of like a daughter figure than he did because all the Batman, when I started, were all right around 40, and so she's in her 20s, and so he looks at her more as a daughter, and he carves things on her stomach, he beats her almost to death. Yeah, it was fun to write, because Vicky Vale is kind of like Lois. She's not quite a victim, but she can be hurt. And so instead of playing Kara or Soup, you definitely get that things can happen to you. And lots of things did happen to her. And that's that. My second favorite's got to be the one I have in my main verse right now that includes Connor and Clark and Zod and Christopher and Talia and Diana and Cassie. It's this huge arc. And so if you follow my contacts, you can't just read my blog for the arc. You really have to read all of, and my Lois, and you have to read all of them, or you're not going to get, you won't know what I'm talking about, and you're not going to know what they're talking about without reading mine. And literally all of us we're all kind of one verse blogs, and so we kind of built this whole world, and the story's great. I mean, Clark just got possessed by Ursa, and she tore up like Metropolis with Kara's body by throwing her around and almost kills Connor, and now Clark has to run around going, oh my god, I'm sorry that I like did all these bad things. Although I'm gonna say, if I was Clark, I wouldn't have made any deal with Zod ever, no matter how good you think he's gonna be. No. I'm telling you, no. So, and I know that's Zod, so no, but you can't use that information. But it's my second favorite, and it probably by the end of it, it's gonna be my favorite. But who knows when it's gonna end, or if it's not going to end, and so it will eventually be my favorite, just because it involves so many people. And we're all kind of one verse blogs. So I'm really switching Kara into only having her main verse, my Marvel verse, where she's in Xavier's school, and maybe one AU for one character that I really like that's an OC. But other than that, yeah, I'm not going to have more than one verse on her because that verse is so involved. Doesn't mean I won't roleplay with other people that are the same of her, of those characters. I'm not going to like put the effort into it because I literally have something like 20 replies from all of that stuff and with their stuff, and I have to read their stuff to know what to do on my stuff, and it's just fun. It's like a group without the group. So, you know, I suggest you follow all of them and read their stuff because they're by far better than I am. And my last question is from Sensational Spider, which has been following me since, well, that blog hasn't been following me since the beginning, but the Mun has. And his question is, who is the person you admire most as far as RPing is concerned? And I had to think about this. That's the reason why it took me a little longer to start my blog. Because there's been a few people that I admire, and then they do something really mean. And not even to me, but to somebody else. And I see it, and then no matter how much I think their writing is incredible, there's just, you lose something for that person. So after it came down to it, I had to think of the people that I followed from the beginning, the people that I was scared of writing with, and the people that I'm not anymore. Not that I don't admire them, it's just that I've learned that, you know, there's these people that write, and no matter how they write, I'm not going to write on that quality, and I'm not going to make them suffer through mine. And there's very few of them because I feel that being afraid of somebody is not conducive to good writing, so I try not to do it. But the one person that I admired from the moment that I followed them until to this moment, and I still read their stuff, is the Slow Knife. And I've only got to roleplay, she's a Talia, and I've only got to roleplay, she was in a group with me in the beginning, she was the group Talia, in my group that I was in with Vicky Vale, and I never got to roleplay with her then. The only time I've ever gotten to roleplay with her is on my Bruce Wayne that I don't have anymore. I gave it to somebody else. And she didn't ship Bruce Talia till I wrote her a dream, and then she started to ship it. So it was fun because I got to write with her with Bruce Talia, which is a ship I don't ship, but I did with her because she's such a phenomenal writer, and she actually ships her Talia, I don't know if it still is, but with a Jason Todd, and that Jason Todd, who has changed their URL, so I can't tell you what it is, but I think it's Red Blood something, or Red Blooded something, another person that is phenomenal. So if you find the Slow Knife, find her Jason and follow her, because she was also in the group with me, but she had a different URL then, and she doesn't write very often, but when she does, it is so beautiful to read. Both of them are just so amazingly beautiful to read. All of that being said, with writing that I admire, there's one other person that I admire, and that's the Only True Robin. And I'm going to explain why I admire her, because she's younger. She has like a bazillion blogs, but I shipped Kara with her Damien, because he's an AU Damien that's 18. And I admire her because when she started, she used to one line, she wouldn't do starters. She was so scared of everyone, and things would upset her, and she would try and try and try and try, and she never thought she was good enough, and she was great. For what she did, it was amazing. She was very concise, very clear, very to the point. It was fun to go back and forth with her. She started writing larger starters. Well, she started writing starters, then she started writing larger starters, and I know that I've watched her grow into quite an RPer, and I admire the fact that she would get hate. she would get crap, she would get all kinds of things, and no matter what she did, she stuck it out and became an amazing role player. And I think that if you're going to admire somebody, I think that's the kind of person that you should admire. So there's your question. Those 2 or 3 people are who I really admire. There's a billion people that I really love and I think are great writers, but those people I truly admire as writers. So there you go. There's my questions. They're my shout outs. Look for my Follow Forever list that's going to be published for my 10,000 posts, which I've now almost got 11,000, but at 10,000 I said I would do a Follow Forever. So it's coming. I'm just doing the art for it now. And trying to decide, because I follow like 400 people, and to find the ones that I don't want to put 400 people in there. And I really probably would, everyone I follow, I'm going to follow till they go away. So, but I've got to pick, I'll probably pick some of my, probably 50 of my original kind of people that have been around for quite a while. So look for that. Other than that, thank you again, 700 of you putting up with my crap daily. I'm trying to not be behind on posts, but there's a lot of them now, and I'm not quite used to having that many. So I promise I will try to get them out faster. I want to tell you all that I love you, and thank you so much for all the love after I got all of the ridiculously freaking stupid hate that I get daily. I don't know. I think I have one person that just likes to send me crap and see what people say. That has to be the only excuse for it. Because I don't tolerate it. And if I ever find out who it is, I'm plastering it all over Tumblr, because there's no reason to tell people to kill themselves. It's just stupid, and it doesn't bother me. So you're wasting your time. But send it to me. Waste my time and waste your time. Don't send it to somebody else, because they don't need it. And I don't care. But thank you guys for supporting me through that, because stupid. If you guys have any suggestions for me or things that you think would make my blog better, if you'll send them to me and not on anon, no matter what you say, I promise I'll take it to heart and I'll discuss it with you. But sending it anon and it's hateful, I'm not going to take you seriously. So that's probably my only thing, is if you want to send me something, send it to me with your name and we can talk about it, because I'm always looking for suggestions of things to do for my blog. As a matter of fact, the reason why I know I don't use commas right is, even though it was anon, somebody was like, hey, you don't use enough commas, you should put them here, 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 and here. Great, thank you. Constructive criticism that I can try to work on. That's what I want. But again, getting close to a year. Hopefully I stick it out to the year. And thank you for following Kara. She will try not to be so moody as she's been a little lately, but if you would read our main verse, there's reasons for her to be that moody. And I just want to tell you all I love you. Thanks. Bye.